Well, here I am again. It's not Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. And it's raining again. Not that that matters. It's better than snow. Personally, I think that. The only time we want a little bit of snow is on Christmas Eve. Maybe on Christmas Day. And then it could be gone. I don't remember I don't remember ever being able to go out without a coat on towards the end of December here. I don't remember that. Anyway, I'm not complaining. Let's see if I can get through this whole video without complaining once. What do you think? What are the odds? I suspect it isn't possible because here it comes. No, I won't. Let's see. What can I tell you? Can you stand another Vienna story? I haven't talked to my family, my nephew and his wife, for a few months, in part because, well, let's say it's because of the time change between here and Sydney, Australia. It's more difficult than when they were in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is only 12 hours and Sydney is like the next day. And in part also, they've had a tumultuous life the past, well, all of this year. And it hasn't been convenient to talk to them on Skype. But Christopher, my nephew, called his mom, my sister, the other day. And so this story that I'm going to tell you about Vienna is secondhand. But I think you'll like it because it's relating to the season and it's a Christmassy kind of story. Now, I need to tell you, and maybe you remember, I don't know, those of you who have followed me for a while will know that when Vienna was born, almost 4 years ago, Christopher decided that he didn't want her to grow up with the Santa Claus story. He wasn't going to lie to his daughter. And everybody else in the family sort of felt that that was a bit harsh because a child loves to have the traditions and the stories of Christmas. But he didn't want to do that. And I think Vienna's had sort of a half and half thing with Santa Claus and the stories like that. But she's been taken to see Santa Claus. And last year she did not like it. She refused to go. She refused to sit. She refused to greet. She wouldn't do it. The year before that, I don't believe she was very happy about it. In fact, the year before last year, we were with them at Christmas in Vancouver. And she was, you know, she was still just one, almost two, but she didn't care so much. So this year, Christopher, my nephew, decided to take her. And they stood in line in front of, you know, they stood in line waiting to see Santa. And her turn comes and Chris goes and puts her on Santa's knee. And Santa says to her, "What's your name?" And she says, "Vienna." And she's looking straight at her, no smile, straight at Santa, no smiles, no nothing, just Vienna. And Santa says, "Well, it's good to meet you, Vienna. What would you like for Christmas?" And she says, "Nothing." And he says, "Oh, you don't have any gifts that you would like me to bring you on Christmas Day?" And she says, "No." And he says, have you been a good girl? And she says, yes, of course I have. And he says, how old are you, Vienna? And she says, 3 and 11/12. Apparently she enunciated the ths very well. So Santa says, well, Vienna, if I can't bring you a present for Christmas, what would you like? And she says, nothing. And he says, okay, do you want to have a picture taken with me? And the woman is getting ready to take the picture, you know, how everybody has to buy the picture. And she says, no. And so Santa looks at Christopher, and Christopher's standing there trying not to laugh. And he says, well, I guess we're done. Come and, you sure you don't want a picture taken? And she says, no. And so he says, well, it was nice of you to come and see me, Vienna. And she's put down and walks away with her dad. And Santa says, I guess in a sarcastic moment, maybe I'll bring you some socks. And she turns and looks at him, lets go of Christopher's hand, runs back up to Santa and says to him, if I need socks, my daddy will bring them to me. And she turns and stalks off. 3 and 11/12. It made me laugh. What else can I tell you? I was out the other day and I had to go into the mall, and I was steeling myself up towards doing it. And happily, because it was early in the morning, it was around 10:30 or so. That's early, you know. I had a good parking spot, and I was just crossing over towards the entranceway doors, and this big SUV pulls up right in front of me, and the window goes down to the SUV, and there's this little old lady face looking out at me, and her face is all twisted up into a horrible frown, and she looks at me and she says, could you help me? Could you help me? And I go over, and she looked, well, it's difficult to tell the ages of people, but she looked about 90, easy, very wrinkled and frail, little tiny woman in this great big huge SUV. And I said, well, yes? She says, I can't find my doctor's appointment place. I'm going to be late. My appointment's at 11 and I'm lost and I don't know how to get, and so she's fumbling for a piece of paper, and I said, well, where are you going? Where are you headed? Thinking, there's no doctor's place up here. And she says, I'm supposed to go over behind the Petro-Canada gas station at Fanshawe and Richmond. So I said, okay, well, that's where you are, basically. See, there's the Petro-Canada right over there. And she says, but this is the mall, and it's not here, and I can't find it, and I'm going to be late, and I don't know what to do, and I'm just so confused. So she pulls out this piece of paper, and I see it's for the hearing test place that's in the little strip mall across the way behind Petro-Canada. And I said, well, it's right over there. You just go out those lights and go straight through and turn into that place over there. It's right next to Richie's. She looks at me. She didn't know how to get out of the mall parking lot. So I said to her, would you like me to get in? Shall I get in and I'll show you where to go. So I just go over to the other side and I get into the front seat and show her where to go, and she parks finally. And I was thinking, well, you know, I don't know, should I stay? And I said that to her. Do you want me to stay with you? She says, no, thank you very much. But now you're over here and you wanted to be over there and I don't know what to do. And I said, just to breathe and to go in for your appointment. You have lots of time. And that was the end of that. And I walked all the way back over to the mall, which was about, well, I don't know, maybe a kilometer. Not quite. was across the street, but then through the great big huge parking lot. No, I didn't complain, not once. That's it, that's all.